This is the Outskirts Podcast with Tanner and friends. I'm Tanner, and this is a short story to brighten your Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, the fried cheese ball of the holiday season. Well, it's midway through November, and inside my suburban home, lighting the way to the kitchen and the playroom, and basically everywhere that the strangely cold, buzzing light of 1,000 tiny LED bulbs can travel, stand two of an eventual set of 3 Christmas trees. These 2 early trees, they are to my family what I imagine they are to most other early tree raisers. And there are a good many in my neighborhood. They can be seen just after dusk, glistening defiantly through the nearly opaque glass of ornate front doors, or in some cases, shamelessly and fully exposed through picture windows, unimpeded by sash and curtain, blinds raised to the top of the windowsill, signaling, to hell with the rest of it, it's Christmas time, damn it, and boy do we ever need it. Now, there's no real affront to Thanksgiving being perpetrated here. I'm comfortable with that statement because I've done some considerable polling on the topic, you see. And as a result of my indiscriminate polling, I believe I can sum up the general sentiment on Thanksgiving with the following statement. A Thanksgiving metaphor, if you will. Now, Wingnut, if you're listening and you don't remember Miss Rudinsky's lesson on the differences between metaphor and simile, don't sweat it. I'm going to analogize it for you. Anyway, here goes with the perfect Thanksgiving metaphor. Thanksgiving is the appetizer to Christmas dinner. Pretty good, right? Now, for those of you who feel like this is some sort of slight, I need to communicate just how truly special appetizers can be. Here, let me see if I can illustrate this. You remember what it was like when the family scraped up enough cash to go to a nice restaurant with just the right mix of ambiance and food that was actually good? I mean, good to a certified kid. Not that old lady soup salad fish bit they do down at the country club. I'm talking about macaroni with a little extra flair. Maybe a crusted edge of real cheese or something. And maybe some kind of meat that was fried just right for a kid, you know. No green flakes or weird spices. In a rare situation, you might find yourself sitting before a steak that wasn't Salisbury. But that's Christmas bonus money, assuming that Dad's Escort didn't need a new clutch. But, fortunately, by some miraculous flaw in the otherwise dog-eat-dog economic system, there's one primo yet affordable dining option for a family of 5 living the hard-scrabble life. Oh, God bless America. Here in this melting pot of people willing to shovel all kinds of garbage down their traps, there does exist among the restaurant-littered landscape of any civilized town that diamond in the rough restauranto. Yes, for this we are truly thankful. Indeed, we are thankful that among the cacophony of dining options that are almost inconceivably wrong for a kid with decent taste, we are thankful that there on the corner lot, between Vito's Shoe Repair and the Hat Barn, sat Frank's Italiano Ristorante. You remember that one, don't you? The one semi-classy joint that absolutely everybody in the family could agree on. We might have spent a half hour arguing in the station wagon, driving back and forth through town, everyone taking a turn shouting out their heart's desire for dinner, with hope for agreement fading fast. "We're going to wind up at the cattle call again, I just know it," cries the middle child as our station wagon turned the last corner before hitting the railway tracks in defeat. But then, suddenly, as if appearing from out of nowhere, miraculously, like a Marian apparition, under the soft glow of the XXX billboard shining down from the overpass above, sat Frank's. Sweet Frank's. There sat our shining, dining prince of a restaurant. A hero of diplomacy if ever an establishment was. I can see it now, sitting there with the humility of its own faded and dirty marquee. Pulling into the gravel parking lot, the little ramshackle building seemed to sing, sweetly and softly, on this wonderful bella notte. Then, stepping inside, we were warmly and forcefully embraced by the Pavarottian power and bravado of Frank's inner ambiance, not to mention the smells.
Oh, sole mio,
are in for a treat. There'd be lasagna for the kids and Alfredo for Mom. The basket of warm, soft, garlicky bread you didn't even have to ask for. Now, I feel I must pause for a moment because, as I mentioned before, this metaphor does assume you were lucky to be living in the right part of the country. I'm truly sorry to all of you who grew up in Harrison, Arkansas in the 1970s, but I'm sure Big Tom's Diner was serving up the kind of cuisine that... No, who am I kidding? You poor kids just missed it big time. But for the rest of you, raised in civilized parts of the country like, I don't know, Pottstown, Pennsylvania, Olney, Maryland, you remember that one Italian joint. Sure you do. Chances are, it's still there. Well, in that same restaurant, if your old man was feeling loose with the dough, you might even hear your father instruct your mother to read over the antipasto section of the menu, which you were pleased to learn at the age of 10 was neither an essay on why growing boys should not eat lasagna or some kind of kids menu offering microwave chicken nuggets or the worst cheeseburger in town. No, the counterintuitively named antipasto menu was a list of appetizers. That's right. If you were lucky and the old guy was feeling generous, a night out at Frank's meant you had a decent chance at a kid-friendly, multi-course meal. Now let's be clear about this one thing. This was true 40 years ago, and it's true today. There's only one item in the antipasto section of any Italian menu that matters. And many a kid has come to learn this the hard way. You see, it's a common scenario that on previous occasions, when a mother had been instructed to look over the antipasto offerings, and her being generally salad-prone, presumably because of too much time spent at church functions, you wind up with a plate of uncooked vegetables and raw cheese, drizzled in oil. Ghastly sight, this antipasto. The next time it was a big bowl of minestrone in 5 little cups. Oh, great. Thanks for the soup starter, Mom. But that third trip to Frank's. Oh, what a blessed intervention by the waiter, Frank's nephew, Frank. This guy was a pro. Arriving to take my salad-obsessed mother's antipasto order, Frank the waiter spoke first, and then, like a brilliant stage magician, from behind his back, he revealed a golden, steaming ball of fried mozzarella, presenting it to my mother as a sample. I can still feel the saliva puddling in my jowls when I caught my first whiff from across the starched white cloth table. Cutting the fried cheese in half and offering a bite to my father, he instantly claimed control of the ordering process and said firmly, "We'll have that." Not even my mother could disagree that the choice made was the correct one. Frank's nephew Frank returned, probably just a few short minutes later, though it felt like an hour and a half. With a coy smile, he set the plate of fried mozzarella balls just off center of the table within easy reach of my old man. As I said, this guy Frank was a real pro. You see, you have to intuit the family dynamic as you approach the table. And my dad exuded that quality of a man who absolutely, under no circumstance, must be denied first right of refusal to any communal plate of food, much less one so deliciously topped as Frank's fried cheese antipasto portion. It was titled Frank's Fried Cheese Antipasto Portion because you had the option of ordering this item as an entree. Presumably, it was a stack of fried cheese balls as big as a human head. At least that was the rumor at Beverly Farms Elementary. Aaron Goldman claimed to have been showered with this blessing last year at his Hanukkah dinner. "That would explain the price," snarked my father. "I could replace the clutch in my Escort for what they want for that cheese entree." We would never truly know for sure just how much cheese was served on the entree portion, but no matter. This was our time, and 12 balls would have to do, and would do, even though there were 5 of us. It went like this. Dad picked up the fried cheese ball plate, and with the nonchalance of an elementary school lunch lady, casually knocked off 6 balls onto the little white dish that sat beside his short-stemmed water glass. That leaves 6 for the rest of us. Mom's next. And here's where Mom's shine the brightest. You see, that same vegetable madness that spurred her to order the caprese salad now allows her to graciously pass the plate, undisturbed, to her 3 ravenous children. Now if you're keeping up with the math, that's 2 apiece. The cheese ball platter, now arriving by luck in front of me first, I managed to restrain myself long enough to glance over at my father. The horrible question hanging in the air, does he get Mom's passed on cheese balls or do we? His face down, indulging in his already disproportionate portion, he looks up with a twinkle in his eye, and with a boyish twitch of his brow, he seems to say, "All yours, guys." I wasted no time and quickly knocked 2 fried cheese balls onto my little saucer before passing the platter down the table to my brother and sister. Oh boy, what a treat. Looking up from my own now empty plate, as the dust and breadcrumbs settled from the eruption of fast eating, accompanied by various moans and other noises, I glanced over at my mother, just as Frank's nephew Frank masterfully set a caprese salad down for her approval. My wonderful, generous, salad-crazy mother. We smiled at each other, both looking forward to the main course to come. And it never did disappoint. So, there you have it. That's Thanksgiving to me. How about it, Wingnut? Was I right? Well, wherever you are, and all the rest of you folks at home, I wish you a happy Thanksgiving full of appreciation and anticipation for the main course. Cheers.
This is where Thanksgiving really begins, isn't it, Benjamin?
Well, now, you're referring to the aroma of roast turkey. I can tell.
Oh, right. It's 2 drumsticks and a wing. Very little dressing.
Now, let us give thanks for our bountiful harvest.